If you have acne scars and you think that that is the only thing people see when they look at you and that you can't ever get rid of them and they're going to be there forever, this is the video for you. Acne scarring is the #1 question I get asked as a skincare expert, and we're going to show you how to get rid of them in this video. Well, hello, this is Chris Gibson, and this is Chris Gibson Live, where we help you look good, feel good, and live good. And today I'm going to talk about the #1 question that I get for skincare, and it has to do with acne scarring. Now, I suffered acne as a teenager. You may know this story, and then I went out and wrote this book on it, and it got really, really famous, and I went on a lot of TV shows, and it helped a lot of people. In fact, I would say that's probably the greatest thing to me, is that I was able to help people deal with their acne problem. But a side effect of acne is acne scarring, and it is probably one of the most difficult things to figure out what to do about. And I'm gonna cover what causes acne scarring really quickly and the types, because there's really only 2 types of scarring that are acne. And then I'm gonna give you a way to treat them, to get rid of them, and also how to cover them up. So I wanna share with you these extraordinary ways to deal with acne scars that you probably didn't even know about. So you don't have to go out and get surgery, although that's one of the things you can do. There are some really great ways to address your acne scarring. Very easy, and we're gonna do those today. And if you like this information and you find it helpful, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of great videos I'm gonna talk about in this video that are side topic to this that are very helpful. And be sure and hit the little bell so you get notifications when the videos come up. Additionally to that, if you stay with me through the video and get all of these tips and tricks I'm gonna give you in dealing with acne scars, I'm gonna give you a free acne scar guide that just gives you all of the information I talked about today, so you don't have to write it down. You don't need to run and go get notes or paper for notes or any of that stuff. So you can just listen to what the information is I'm gonna talk about, and you can grab that guide at the end of the video. So let's talk about that. 2 types of acne scarring: hypertrophic and atrophic. Atrophic scarring is the kind that's most common that you see in people that have had severe acne like I did, deep cystic acne, where they call it a pock mark. They're deeper marks, and it's what happens when the skin heals from an acne breakout that's happened deep in the pore. It has pushed the tissue actually away, and as it heals, it leaves an indentation. And the reason that those type of scars are so visible is because light refracts across the skin at an even rate. So just like a cave or a depression or a hole in the ground or anything, the light doesn't penetrate as far. It loses some of its lightness, so it appears deeper or darker and more visible. The other kind of scars that are really typical with acne are hypertrophic scars, and that's keloids. That's scarring that takes place that ends up being a lump or a bump in the skin and creates an uneven surface or kind of a mottled look to the skin. That is another type of acne scarring, and that's the 2 main types of scarring that you have. There is a third kind of scar, which is one that's the most dreaded, believe it or not, of all 3, and that's the red mark that doesn't go away. It is not really a scar. It is just trapped blood circulation in a spot, and I'm going to talk about how to deal with those, all 3 of those. Before I jump into the ways to deal with each of those, atrophic and hypertrophic scars, I really want to impress upon you that the biggest thing is to keep scarring from happening in the first place. So it would be negligent of me, I guess, if I didn't talk about the fact that you need to prevent them. And prevention is very easy. Simply don't pick at them, don't push at them, don't pull, don't put things on your skin that are not good for your skin. There are ways to stop acne breakouts, to treat them, that I have videos on. There's a steaming technique video that a dermatologist that is top in the country gave me to do that helped me tremendously. You can grab that on the channel. And there are ways to stop acne breakouts as they happen so that they don't progress to the point where you're so irritated with your skin that you go and do all these crazy things like I did. I slapped my own face when I had acne. That's how frustrated I got with the whole situation. So I understand how it feels to have to deal with it. So prevention is key. So please take a moment, go through the playlist on the channel that talk about diet and acne, if you're still having breakouts, that is, diet and acne, and how to clear up your skin and how to do those things so that you don't have to address having scars later. But Some of us have scars. I have some. You don't see them because I have taken great pains over the years to treat mine. So how do we treat atrophic scars, which are the deeper indentation scars? Well, resurfacing is key. One of the ways you do that is an old way that's been around for a long time called dermabrasion, and it's actually where you go in and they sand the skin down. They micro sand the skin down and it leaves sort of a scabby crust on the skin, and the skin heals underneath that scab and tends to even out the bumpiness and those indentations. It's painful, it's a surgery, there's risk of infection, and a lot of people don't choose that option anymore because technology has somewhat advanced. One of the other things you can do that's a lot less invasive is you can get fillers now. There's Juvederm and several other brands of filler where you can go to a dermatologist or even an esthetician at a salon that's licensed to do this, and you can actually have a pockmark or a deeper indentation filled with the filler, and it'll last up to a year, and it kind of evens that out. A lot of people, I didn't do this, I'm going to talk about what I did in a minute, but it is very effective. It is somewhat inexpensive. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it does work. So fillers, injectable fillers, is a top way to deal with acne scarring. Now there's another technique called needling, and it's a roller that has really microscopic needles that go across the skin. And what that does is the needles penetrate the skin just into the surface, and it stimulates collagen growth. Because it stimulates it all over, it tends to give a evenness to the complexion. So it does help, especially if you have lighter scars, you don't have the really deep atrophic scars or deep pock marks. This type of technique can work for you very, very well. Then there's laser resurfacing technology, where I go in with a laser and it penetrates the skin layers to sort of kick off or spark collagen production. And again, it sort of evens out the skin surface, and it's really good for just lighter scarring, deep marks, those red marks that people dislike. Laser resurfacing can be very, very helpful. And there's yet another way to treat scarring, and this is the one that the particular path I chose, which are skin peels. And that is a chemical peel that removes the outer layers of skin. It sparks the skin to heal underneath it. It's not like dermabrasion where you get a scab, but over time, skin peels can really make a big difference. And there are all kinds of those. There is a TCA peel, which is a tricolic acid peel. There's a buffered AHA and BHA glycolic peels. There are phenol peels, buffered phenol peels. I'm going to talk about that, and in the guide that I'm talking about giving you at the end of the video, I will also include that information for you. So that's atrophic scarring. Now what about hypertrophic scarring? And that is the scars that are raised on the skin. And what happens is sometimes there's so much damage in the pore area that the skin heals together much like a cut or a surgical cut, and it raises up instead of indenting. And so you have these little bumpy areas that are very uneven. You may even have a line scar that's similar to that from a series of breakouts. Keloids are, again, hypertrophic and above. So the best way to treat those, the two best ways, is through some sort of deep resurfacing like a chemical peel. Surgery is sometimes necessary, where you can go in and they can use like the diamond crystal method, where they just use that area and they sort of even that off, take that skin off in that one area and heal. The difficulty with that is that sometimes when you do resurfacing, you get a hyperpigmentation problem. If you are olive or darker complected like I am, it's one of those things you have to consider. So when you go and talk to a salon, if you're going to do any of these sort of surgical type of procedures where they're removing skin and it's going to scab over and heal, that's one of the things you really need to test for. You need to talk about and ask about, because you don't want to end up removing the pock marks or the scars and have different colors on your skin, or your skin darker in one side, or looks like you have makeup on all the time because your skin surface is lighter. So what about products then for scarring? And there are several that work very, very well. I use a vitamin C serum for mine, and it works very, very well over time. And again, as I said, I use chemical peel. So I use vitamin C, AHA products. Alpha hydroxy is the brand that I particularly use. The vitamin C serum is my own brand, Clear Revolution, but you can get these anywhere. And then of course I do the skin peels from time to time. And so it really makes a big difference. One of the giant pluses of this routine is that it also is very anti-aging. So as you continue to work with your skin and tend to excite the growth of the collagen, and you're removing that old dried out layer of skin all the time, the new skin surfaces. So it actually allows your products to work better. This is a big, big plus. And it allows you to not age as quickly as everybody else. So the other thing that I think is very, very important, you may notice that I wear a hat a lot in some of my videos. And the reason I wear hats, I live in Florida, and I am a big, big proponent of protecting your face from the sun, protecting anything that is routinely exposed to the sun. Yes, for skin cancer protection, but also for the anti-aging properties that sunscreen can give you. I started wearing sunscreen at 23 years old, and it has paid off. Probably out of all the skincare products that I use or would recommend to anybody, sunscreen is the one thing that over time will do more for your skin than anything else you can do, including your hereditary, your genes. Protecting your skin from the sun, #1 thing to do. So that is the other thing. So to recap, what I did for my scarring and what I continue to do is skin peels. And again, I'm gonna give you that information in the guide, this acne scar guide. So skin peels, vitamin C serum, sunscreen. Those are the 3 things if I were to target what I do about acne scarring, those are the 3 things. So vitamin C serum is another way you can really address acne scarring because it takes care of those little red marks. It evens out hyperpigmentation and from the problems that you've had on your skin, and it helps even out the color, which is really, really huge. And you can also cover the scars, which is really, really easy to do. If you'll just go to this next video, I'm going to show you how to do that from my friend Wayne Goss, who's a makeup artist that's pretty famous and well-known. It's a flawless technique I've used for myself and I use for my friends, including some celebrity friends that I've taught on how to cover up these marks with foundation. And it doesn't look like you're wearing anything. So it's really, really flawless. It's a great video to go get that. And don't forget to get your free acne scar guide. I include the link down below. Just go to chrisgibsonlive.com and sign up for the newsletter, and that is free for you. You get all the things I talked about in a bullet form list so that you don't have to go back and watch the video all over again unless you'd really like to. I'd love that. And if you found this video helpful, please, by all means, comment and let me know that it helped you, and share it with somebody who needs it, because a lot of people out there won't take the time that you took to spend with me to learn how to take care of these things, and they walk around feeling bad about the way their skin looks, and it's not necessary. Again, feel good, look good, live good. See you in the next video.